Hey, I'm FTFE and welcome back to the channel that does to stupidity what the mountain did to Prince Oberyn's skull.
Belly of my cow. I killed her children. Then I raped her. Then I smashed her head in like this.
So I got a new order from NASA the other day that I had to do a video about two guys that were pushing the flat earth truth. I'm sorry, I mean the flat earth lies, obviously. And I was a little confused because after looking at the videos that NASA sent, I knew I'd seen these guys somewhere before. Introducing the morons of the week, Red Pill Philosophy and Flat Earth Sage, otherwise known as the Mario Brothers. Sit back and relax, get some facepalm protection, as Brainy Beaver and I give you Flerfs Are Idiots, episode 48.
We're living on a disk, floating through space, with a tiny sun.
Thanks for joining me once again as we look at willful ignorance on steroids. Before we get to the stupid, a quick word about today's sponsor. Thanks to Subitech.com for sponsoring today's video. Subitech make a range of high quality charging cables, including these awesome flashing ones that make it look like you can see the electricity flow into the device. The charging cables have magnetic connectors that stop the cables getting frayed at the ends, and you can leave the connector in your phone to stop any dust or flat earthers' tears getting in your charging ports. The charging cables come with 3 magnetic connectors for iPhone, mini USB and Type-C, and you can choose to get 1 of each or 3 of the same. Subitech also do a range of power banks that can hold up to 3 full charges of a standard phone and charge 2 devices at the same time. And they also do a YouTube content creator kit that includes a holder for a phone and a backlight. Coming soon, Subitech will also offer a range of non-glow-in-the-dark cables and a fast charge plug. Head to Subitech.com to help support this channel and to get the last cables you will ever need. Once again, thanks to Subitech.com for sponsoring today's video and my 40-hour stream I did to celebrate 40,000 subscribers. Find the link to Subitech.com in the description of this video. Now, on with the stupid. I'm going to take a look at Red Pill Philosophy, a flat earth dumbass that calls himself a high IQ skeptic, who is terrified of me. As of the time of writing, he's been refusing to debate me, even on his own channel, for 316 days. I guess he's too busy saving the Mushroom Kingdom.
Hey, what's up everybody? So, in my skeptical, pro-skepticism journey into just being a skeptic in general, basically.
He's trying to tell us something, I'm not sure what it is. Maybe something to do with being a skeptic? I'm not sure, he wasn't very clear.
I was recently thinking about space. And you know how very few people, I mean, if you consider the billions of people who live on the face of the earth, it's got to be, you know, I mean, just compare that to the proportionally tiny little number of people in the space. Space is something that everyone pretty much believes in, but a very, very, very tiny minority of people have been to space.
Well, that's because it's really fucking expensive to send people to space. Between 1970 and the year 2000, it cost roughly $54,500 to send each kilogram to space. Thanks to the advances made by SpaceX, that's down to around $2,700 per kilogram. And with the average person weighing around 62 kilograms, that would still be roughly $167,000. But that's SpaceX and NASA. Space tourism with Virgin Galactic, for instance, costs about $250,000 a seat. And I've never met a flat earther with a high-paying job. I guess when you're too busy saving your girlfriend from being captured by Bowser, getting a decent job is quite hard.
So I was just thinking to myself, you know, it's crazy, you know, this whole space is fake thing, right? I'm like, you know, let me put my skeptic cap on, you know.
Wait, doesn't your cap normally have an M on it?
It's me, Mario!
Let's just like be a skeptic here, because I've always been a fan of like, basically like being skeptical, like just like, hey, let's be skeptics, you know, like, you know, I just feel like, you know, like everyone should love being a skeptic. That's basically my view.
Yeah, it's like you've just learned the word skeptic and you want to use it as much as possible. We get it. You think you're skeptical. You're not. You're just an idiot.
So you know what? You know, this whole space is fake. What if space is fake? Well, if space is fake, then that would mean that space is fantasy.
Yeah, but space isn't fake, is it? Take this video from Red's rhetoric of a rocket going to space. You can see as the rocket gets higher and higher in elevation, the exhaust gases coming out the back get wider and wider, until they just expand so much you can barely see them. This is because we have a gradient of pressure to our atmosphere. It goes from 14.7 psi to practically 0 psi, and that's called space. You should be familiar with space. There's plenty between your ears, Mario.
It's a fantasy. It's pure fantasy.
Is this the real life? Is this just fantasy?
And it got me thinking about how, well, if space is just a literal fantasy, it doesn't exist, then science fiction should no longer be called science fiction. Science fiction, if space is fake, and everything we think we know about space, from the moon landing to cultural representations of space with Star Wars and Star Trek, all the space propaganda, if it turns out that space is fake, then science fiction is nothing more than fantasy.
Science fiction is fantasy. Dude, you're a fucking genius. Why haven't I seen this before? So, Star Trek isn't a documentary? I guess the Earth's flat then.
Are you kidding me? This baby is off the charts.
Everything you've ever seen about space, from spaceships flying and shooting things and landing on other spheres light years away from Earth, all these grand things that only exist on a TV screen for 99% of the population, excluding the tiny percent who have allegedly been to space, if you believe that.
Yeah, we don't need to believe it. It is a fact. There is so much evidence of space travel that to say it's all fake is just willful ignorance. Civilians have been to space, including Cirque du Soleil owner Guy Laliberté, who in 2009 spent $42 million to go to the ISS.
Then that means that science fiction, why would they separate science fiction from the fantasy category? Think about that for a second. You go search any bookstore. You have your fantasy section, and then you have science fiction. And in many cases, science fiction is about space. But if space is fake, then science fiction falls under fantasy now.
Mario, there's a reason you are a plumber and not an author. In fact, I'm pretty sure you've just made an enemy of every author on Earth. Science fiction is very different to fantasy when we're talking about different genres. Science fiction deals with things like futuristic technology, space travel, time travel, parallel universes, and aliens, whereas fantasy deals with mythical realms and magical creatures. I mean, let's face it, Flat Earth is firmly in the fantasy section. Only magic can explain the Discworld.
Because think about how oxymoronical that is. What an oxymoron that is. Science, if anything, means truth. Fiction means fake. It's like a clash of terms. It's almost like they put it right there in front of your face.
Look, Mario, what I'm getting from you is that you've never read any science fiction. In fact, you've never read a book, have you?
It's science, the pursuit of truth. And it's fiction. It's fake. Now, of course, they mean science fiction. But my point is, if space turns out to be fake, then that means science fiction is nothing more than science fantasy.
Yeah, there is already a genre called space fantasy. It combines both science fiction and fantasy tropes. Something like Star Wars, for instance. George Lucas, the creator of Star Wars, said that Star Wars isn't science fiction. It's a fantasy film and a space opera.
Indeed, why even put the word science there if it's all just a big fantasy? You go ahead and you look through it, and science fiction, most of it is spheres and space. It's almost entirely spheres and space and aliens.
You seem surprised that a Google image search for science fiction resulted in images of planets and aliens. Mario, are you new to the internet? Honestly, I'm surprised you object to all these spheres in space. I mean, I've played Super Mario Galaxy.
And I found that to be very, very interesting. Because you know what? More powerful than the moon landing, more powerful than sitting in a science class, more powerful than anything NASA tells you is probably the cultural representation of space, the cultural presentation of space. You know, just telling you, you know, it's just think about the impact Star Wars has, Star Trek, science fiction in general, movies like Alien or Aliens.
I think you're getting confused between culture and popular media, but the thing is, even if your point is stupid, it's also wrong. I think real science is much more powerful and awe-inspiring, giving people that can't walk prosthetic legs, communication with anyone on the planet instantly, real spaceflight, people landing on the moon. Yeah, Star Trek is nice escapism, but knowing that we are actually trying to put people on the moon again, and even Mars, is extremely powerful.
This is a big part of culture, about what the human mind creates. The problem is, instead of putting it in the category of fantasy, they slap the word science in front of it, and now you suddenly think that this is somehow based in truth.
Nah, I like to think they put the word science there so morons like you could make crazy rambling videos so we can all laugh at you. And we are.
So, this is sort of a random video, guys. I know I haven't uploaded in weeks, so I probably have a bunch of, you know, new subscribers who don't, you know, this video is completely out of left field, and, you know, that's fine. If this isn't what you're into, then, you know, you can just smash the unsubscribe button.
You heard him, guys.
But yeah, this is just, you know, just me continuing on my, you know, just my skeptical journey, you know, just being like a skeptic, and like, ever since I heard about the skeptic community, I was like, oh wow, there's like a community like online, like the skeptic. Yeah, I never heard of like the skeptic community. It was fucking wild. And so once I heard that there was like the skeptic community, I was like, oh shit. So like it's like politically correct to be skeptical. It's like, oh, this is cool. So now ever since then, like I put my skeptic hat on, and now I'm just like a skeptic, dude. I'm just like asking questions and being skeptical. Like it's like just like being a skeptic. It's great.
Now, I'm not entirely sure, but I think he may have just had a stroke whilst saying the word skeptic there.
So that's basically it. Thank you guys for watching. You know, don't forget, man, that stuff is flat. This is a quote from Neil deGrasse Tyson. This is not me saying this shit. All right, he says you can't see Earth's curvature from 128,000 feet high with a very wide field of view.
And you dipshits love to misquote NDT, don't you? Off you go to the remedial classroom, Mario. Okay, sit down everyone and stop yapping. Oh, Mr. Red Pill, this isn't a dress-up day. Well, you come dressed as Mario. Really? That's how you normally look? Anyway, I must ask you a question. Did you do your homework? I don't see it handed in. Maybe it's in another castle. Right, anyway, why did Neil deGrasse Tyson say that stuff is flat? Well, first off, he didn't realise that flat earthers would misunderstand and take his quote out of context. And secondly, he's basically right. The earth is massive. You think it's a long way down to the shops for some milk? Well, that's peanuts to earth. And that means unless you are really high... No, Mr. Morgoyle, not that kind of high. Unless you're really, really far from the surface of the Earth, it's going to look flat. Unfortunately for all of you, a future in space travel of any kind isn't really in your futures. NASA requires people to finish school and, unluckily for me, you're gonna be here forever. Oh shit, that's a depressing thought. Please get out, I need to start drinking. I feel sorry for the teacher in the remedial classroom. He's got an impossible task. Hold on, that's my phone. Yes, hello? Hi, NASA. Really? Well, isn't there anyone else that can do it? I'm kind of in the middle of a video. Yeah, okay, just activate the implant. Sorry guys, I've got to go. There's a flat earth emergency that apparently only I can deal with. I've just showed you Mario being a Flerf, so... Here's Brainy Beaver, and I'm pretty sure he's covering Luigi.
Well, thanks, Fight, for the introduction. Hello, everybody, and this is my portion of the video. I drew the short stick, so I got stuck with Flat Earth Sage, and there really isn't a whole lot to talk about with Flat Earth Sage, except I did a video on him probably the better part of a year ago, and while he was asking the hard questions, kind of like...
I thought of, even if we were to believe what, even if I was to believe what NASA says, the question popped up in my head: what good has NASA done for humanity? What has NASA done, or better yet, what have they done for this world?
So right off the bat, you know you're dealing with a real free thinker, a real Einstein, the kind of guy that doesn't hold back and tells you how it is. But had he done any previous research, he would have discovered that they've invented many of the items that he uses from day to day, including the camera he's filming himself on. That's right. In the 90s, NASA invented digital image sensors based on complementary metal oxide semiconductors, also known as CMOS. This enabled tiny, battery-friendly cameras to be placed into mobile phones and high-definition video that can be found in products like GoPros. They also invented key nutrient additives found in baby formula. You know, that stuff his mommy feeds him when he goes home from telling everybody to twoof? But today, he's not asking the simple questions. He's moved on to bigger fish. Today, Flat Earth Sage is going to tell us about pressure and how it works. So buckle up and sit tight, get ready. Hello? Oh, Canadian Space Agency, good. Yeah, I wanted to talk to you about FTFE and the teleportation thing he has installed. Well, I want something like that. Oh, come on. First you let NASA take all of your aerospace engineers and help them get to the moon, and when they canceled the Ever Arrow, and now... Yeah? I don't care about budget restrictions. Surely you can rig something. Yeah? I'm gonna use it to go on vacation. What's the point? I don't care. I don't care. Listen, they're making you look like a bunch of lumberjacks, frankly. Well, yeah, I would hope so. Okay, thanks. That was the CSA. They're not making promises at this point.
Hey guys, how's it going? It's me, Flat Earth Sage. I know it's been a while since I did a video. Jeez, I don't even want... I'm scared to know how long it's been, but as you guys know, like, I usually don't try to make a video unless I have something really good to talk about. And today, I want to talk about gas pressure. First off, what is gas pressure? Gas pressure, try to sum this up as easy as I can.
We're trying! We're running out of letters!
Just turn the M's upside down and send them down here!
You can't just do that! There's a lot of paperwork before you...
I don't care! I'll take the heat! Just turn them over and send them down!
It's basically...
We need more E's and W's down here now!
We're trying!
It's basically the buildup of gas that presses on the container, that presses against the container. Gas pressure.
Well, thank you, Flat Earth Sage, for breaking that down in the most scientific of ways. You know, Flat Earthers always make me laugh. Everything's so complicated and exciting for them, even the simple things.
What? What is it?
The sky.
Sky?
Honestly, you want to make us feel like you know anything? Write it down. Be prepared. We are never going to criticize you for having a plan and laying it out, but you look like you know some shit. I mean, you're going to be wrong no matter what. We can almost guarantee it, but hey, look it. It'll have that professional feel. Just, the hell's going on here? This is not cool.
Now, I hear a lot of people talk about gas pressure without a container. Oh man, it's kind of ridiculous when you think about it. So today I wanted to give everybody a little bit of visual on gas pressure and how it works. Now, you can measure gas pressure in PSI, if I'm not mistaken. That's pounds per square inch. So right here, I'm over at Wawa right now, over at the free air pump, because I have a leaky container. For example, getting tongue-tied. I basically have gas pressure in a container. However, it's leaking. I'm missing a cap for my valve stem. The reason I'm able to drive it right now is because the gas pressure is slowly leaked out of the tire. As the tire moves, as I drive and the tire rotates and it presses down on the ground, it slowly seeps out air pressure out of my tire. This can be confirmed. I can fill my tire up to 32 PSI, and the next, in a day or two, go to fill up my tire, and I'll be at like 12 PSI or something. I don't know how helpful this will be, but when I think about gas pressure with the container, this is a prime example right here.
So I have a high-end experiment for you, Flat Earth Sage. Take a fan, any old fan. Just find a fan. You know that one you use to keep your ass cold while you're sleeping? Stand in front of it. Do you feel that air pressure against you? That is pressure without a container, sir. You're feeling all those molecules smashing up against your ugly face. Yes, I know. That wasn't what you were talking about, and my example is dismissed by you. The reason we have a gradient is that all those molecules are just like sitting on top of each other, and it's the total weight of all of those molecules in a column pressing down on each other that creates the gradient and the pressure that we experience at ground level. I wonder what force holds all that down, too.
Gravity, you Gravity! Have you ever heard of gravity? Gravity! Gravity!
Now I gotta figure out what's going on with this thing. Oh no. Oh, that stings so much. Whoa, what the fuck?
Alright, those are the sliders that I bought. These are the lights, okay? Flora, oh, and then we bought some gas. I bought gas for the production and all that stuff. So, okay, we are supposedly a community of truth and truth seekers. Therefore, if someone steals from us and commits grand theft, it still ought to be put out publicly. I'm sorry, my loyalties is not to the community. My loyalty is to truth, folks, not to a community. Okay? My loyalty is to my Heavenly Father, my family, and truth. Okay? And this was not only wrong, it was way wrong. And now I've just showed that the police officer's report and findings were wrong. But folks, just so you know too, I am following up with the police station. I'm also going to be reporting the officer for not doing a proper investigation. I'm not going to go into all that. Okay? But just because the officer said it's a civil matter does not make it so. How many times have we seen courts reverse that stuff? So for some people to not put any weight into my testimony when I'm the one who actually had the property stolen is kind of ridiculous to me. Special update also, Robert Taylor and I have been in communication with the Wendell Police Department, and they are reviewing this case because apparently there were some things that were overlooked. Like I said, people, I am well aware of what the law states.
What just happened? Is that my video from December?
So, bear with me for a second. I'm gonna put my jacket on. It is below freezing outside, so I need to put on my warm coat.
Okay, so I went through his stuff, and honestly, I kind of got the short end of the stick on this one. He's not doing a lot of Flat Earth content. There's really not a lot of science on his channel, and there was a time when he may have been about the Flat Earth, but now his passion, his drive, it's really in fresh-picked, wild public vegetables and fruits. Guys, I found raspberries. Oh my god, I love raspberries. Oh my god, look at my cucumber. Cucumber. Nom 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 nom.
wild cherry tree, yeah. The prickly lettuce found on the sidewalk. Medicine, get your free meds, cures anything.
Unfortunately, Flat Earth Sage is a little bit of a dud, which is kind of the case with all of them these days. So, on that note, I guess thanks for coming by and seeing my segment. Thanks for having me. And, holy shit, I gotta get this thing looked at right away because this is no, not again, no!
Alright, so here we are, some of the elephants. Cool thing about these guys is that they have really long fronts, and that's cool. And that's pretty much all there is to say.
Thanks for that, Brainy, and with that is all the stupid that I can take for today. But before I go, I'd like to give a massive shout out to all my patrons and channel members. It's thanks to you guys that I am able to continue doing what I love to do. If you're in my Discord, there is a special room just for you guys, and top level patrons and members can contact me for some free merch. If you would like to support this channel, either become a member by clicking on the join button down next to the subscribe button, or become a patron by heading to patreon.com/FTFE. And thank you. Thanks for watching, and thanks to subbytech.com once again for sponsoring this video, and a massive thank you to Brainy Beaver for covering Luigi. Make sure you are subscribed to him. If you've enjoyed this video, please leave a like as it really helps the channel. Subscribe if you're not already, and set notifications to all so you never miss anything from FTFE. And remember, stupidity is not a right. Fight the Flat Earth.
Fight the flat, 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 fight the flat.